Hey folks, today we are back in the Green Mountains. Goes without saying, this is going to be episode 7, I guess. I find my plans already evolving because the original plan I had was to hike into a wetlands and get into a more off the beaten path area and see if it connects up with the area I was hiking in the rain the other time. And I've already gone down the road to check out where it connects. And what I had hoped was to find a drivable area to get into the backside of the 5 bogs and the northern area to that. That does not seem like it's going to work because it's there, but it's drivable. It's not drivable by a normal car. Definitely a lot more for off-roady. The other news is there is a connecting trail of some sort, though, so there is hope for that. I'd also planned to do an overnight, but the people that normally give some indication they want to go are not doing that, so instead we are going to do kind of a roving check of a couple of points today where I've been in the past, 1 or 2 that I haven't, and that's going to be the day. What I'm going to do first before I start doing that, though, is, in spite of the lovely bugs that are rather insistent, I am going to check out a wetlands right here, the one that I had hoped to. It's actually closer to access than I had thought, so I'm going to do that first, and then we're going to get going down the road, and we'll this is going to kind of be a roving man on the scene kind of video today, it looks like. So as we get going, we'll check in as we do that. So thanks for watching as always, and we're going to get moving. Is not proving to be exactly as accessible as I thought, but we will do what we can here. It looks like it gets real swampy too, real fast. So let's see what we can do to get to a spot that has a view without sinking up to our knees in mud. Which I'm glad I have waterproof boots on. I've said that a lot, I guess, but yeah. It's a lot less hospitable in there than I had hoped. Needless. Not really that photogenic either. It's just a lot of walking through this. So I think our plan for doing the roving man on scene might be a more realistic one, because getting through that's going to be a mild nightmare. So yeah, and the odds of finding tracks in anything in that, not too good. Just to kind of give you a point. Yeah. Got to find the least soggy way out. Oh well. It looks like a day of evolving and changing plans, so it is what it is. And would it be self-serving to say that I do this so you don't have to? I would think so. But, oh well, we're going to move on up the road at this point. And we're moving again. Short version of the story, we started to track down a trail across from the expanse. Turns out somebody's got a cabin in there, so better not to intrude. Back to the original plan B. And as I drive through, I am formulating plans to get into some follow-up areas I wasn't able to last year. I was focused on getting around the expanse. There's actually 2 wetlands that are kind of like deeper in and away from the accessibility that's more easily found. So what we'll be doing, I just found a little parking spot where you can kind of walk in and kind of diagonally get in from there where the terrain's not too horrible. And we can get in there and have a look in the next few weeks if that's what we are to do. Actually, it doesn't look too bad in there. It's not as thick. I actually think I see it's a little bit of a bushwhack, but nothing horrible. So put that on our to-do list for the next few weeks. Okay, we are at the expanse at this point. Just kind of checking in and doing some quick photography here. We are actually going to do a hike further up once we get to that point. It's about halfway up the main way through the southern part of my area, and that is usually pretty isolated, so we're going to go there and do some recon in there, but we're making our way north to do that. And after that, we may do some initial recon towards the north where we ended last season, but we're going to do this first. So that's where we are now. This is check-in number 1. The timestamp is probably around 11. Thanks. Are kind of finding the day to be not what we expected. We ended up doing a little bit of a semi-road trip version of this thing we do here. Mainly just the wetlands I wanted to look at is rather inaccessible in some ways and better use of time. So we adapt to changing circumstance. And not for the first time or the last. So the one thing I'm not really a fan of today is despite permethrin, the bugs are out in force. So we'll have to deal with that. Especially don't need them flying down my throat. Muddy, muddy, muddy. Very muddy. Really. This is quite swampy. I'm going to actually do this or get my foot wet. I'm literally just walking through mud. Good bloody Lord. I think I was in Africa. Look at these flies. Damn it. This is insane. And these stinking bugs are driving me nuts. Well, kids, in today's lesson we learned not all in hiking, bushwhacking, and bigfooting is glamour. I'm assuming you're getting the sounds. Moose track. Yeah, probably the same one from last year. The same moose, not the same track. But moose track. And God forbid this dries out a little bit. swamp. Sorry. This is every bit as wet as it sounds. There's an eastern newt. I think that's their name, little orange guys. You seem to still be trailing bullwinkle. That requires recording. My vote there is bear. Bear tracks. Not sure how old, but I bet he is wet feet too. But you worry, less of a nuisance. Oh my God, my whole head is covered in flies. This is disgusting. Huh? This is disgusting. Found some scat.
Bambi tracks. Hello. Moose tracks. Somebody's been out here. People track. Doesn't look that old. It doesn't look that recent, though. Distorted moose tracks.
And from the other side. I hope I got that whole segment, because if I didn't, I have to do it again. But there you go. That's what it looks like from there. And that's a picture of that, the whole thing from, I guess that's like a 360. So that's where we are. Found this too. This is relative to the scene. For anyone just assumes human sign, again, this is basically where we are. And not exactly on the beaten path, but some interesting things found.
And we're back on iCams. I'm half assuming these crushed up logs we found are likely sign of black bear looking for grubs and the like, or similar. There's a number of them down here, so actually makes me surprised in the few times I've been down here I haven't actually encountered anything of that nature, because there's a fair amount of presence of it. But we are going to make our way back up and move on from there.
And we're moving.